Hello, beautiful people. I hope you guys are doing well. And in this video, I'll be talking about a 3-step blueprint to help you gain immense confidence. But not just that, in fact, let me tell you something. This video is actually a video version of a book that I'm writing called Communication Secrets. And the first chapter of that book is The Origin of Confidence. You can actually check that out below in the description as well. You can download that for absolutely free, correct? And this video is just a video version of the first chapter. And sure, you'll understand the 3-step blueprint to gain immense confidence. But apart from that, I'll also be talking about why you even feel underconfident in the first place. What is the spectrum of confidence? What are the root causes of confidence and underconfidence? And not just that, as I've mentioned before, watch this video till the end and you'll also understand the 3-step blueprint to gain immense confidence. That being said, my name is Mohit Jagwani, and with this channel, my goal is to help you be the most powerful version of you. So if that sounds interesting, don't forget to subscribe. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, before we even begin to talk about confidence, let's talk about underconfidence and where does underconfidence come from. Now, I want you to think about a moment, a specific moment wherein you felt very underconfident. And the reason of underconfidence could be anything. Maybe your hair were untidy, or maybe there was a stain on your shirt, anything. Whatever the reason you think was, I want you to stop and write that down. Actually pause this video and write whatever reason comes to your mind, that it could be with your hair, the way you were appearing, or a stain on your shirt, as I mentioned before. Whatever it was, I want you to write it down, correct? And once you're done, just play this again. Okay, perfect. Now that you're done, let me tell you something. Now, whatever you have written down, there's a huge possibility that most of the things out of them are not the root cause of you being underconfident. So there are two root causes of you being underconfident. Number one being lack of evidence of you being good. And number two, fear of future consequences. Now, when I say lack of evidence of you being good, so whenever, for example, you want to go in front of an audience and speak, right, and it is your first time, since it is your first time and you've never actually spoken in front of an audience, you have no idea how it's going to go, and you feel very underconfident and you are nervous because you have no idea what to expect, and the feeling that you're feeling it for the first time, correct? That is number one. Number two, fear of future consequences. You have this inner fear about what people are going to think after you are done doing that thing. What if you are terrible? What are people going to think? What if you make a mistake? What if you appear like a fool? What happens then? And that fear holds you back and causes you to be underconfident. Just think about it. For example, now if you go to skydiving, right, now when you go to skydiving, typically initially you're giving some training, and then you're supposed to go in a plane that's very small, and you have an instructor with you. Along with an instructor, if you go to Dubai, they also have a videographer that jumps with you to record your reaction, right? Now, when you go on the plane and it takes off, what happens is that now, because of the wind and all of that and the entire environment, your hair are swirling around and the wind is hitting your face, and there are a lot of people with you, and you see a person going in front of you with their instructor. And what is happening is that the instructor is basically just manhandling the person, and before the instructor even jumps with the client, a videographer hops before them, and then the instructor just jumps. And you look at them, and all you could hear is them screaming and then just jumping off the plane. And now it is your turn, correct? You follow the instructor, and the instructor is completely calm, completely composed. there is not a single shred of fear that's coming from him. Correct? So he just goes towards it and goes towards the exit of the plane, and before he even jumps, the videographer jumps before him, and before you know it, you are jumping, you're off the plane and you're in the air falling. Initially, you fear so much, you're so afraid, you feel like you're gonna die, and it is crazy for the first 5-10 seconds. But that's all. The fear only lasts for the first 5 to 10 seconds. And then everything from then on is beautiful. You look at the beautiful skyline, you look at the curvature of the earth, you feel the wind hitting your face, and you just falling. You are completely present in that moment. Super happy, super joyful. That is the complete sereneness you are in. And once you're done, you look back and you cry tears of joy. It was that good. That is also the feeling you would get if you constantly worked upon achieving something that, let's say, you were underconfident about and you decided to do it anyway despite having your fear. That being said, if you were to observe your instructor, he was completely calm. Why? Two reasons. One, he had done it thousands of times, because of which he had evidence of him being good at it. So that is why he had no fear. Number two, he had accepted whatever the consequences were. But let me tell you something to relax you a little bit. The probability of you dying while skydiving is less than the probability of you dying while driving. Matlab, every day if you go out to drive, the probability of you dying in that is much more than skydiving. So that is something that should give you a sense of relief. But that being said, the second reason is again because he has accepted the consequences. Your skydiver instructor has accepted the consequences that, you know what, even if it goes bad, you know, I've lived my life. And that is why he or she is so confident. Now, all of this being said, what are the action steps that you can take to actually be more confident? Now, there are 3 steps to this blueprint. Step number 1, mentally minimize the fear that you have within. Now, for example, be practical. What is the worst case scenario? Let's say if you're doing public speaking or you're trying to approach a girl or a guy or anyone. What is the worst case scenario? Let's say in terms of public speaking, the worst case scenario, the absolute worst, is you go there, you cannot speak, and that's it. You have an experience and a story to tell to your friends. That is the worst case scenario. You might think, sure, people are going to laugh at you, but you're going to stay alive and you have an experience with you. You have a learning, and the next time that you do it, it's going to be much better. The worst part has already passed. So you're minimizing the fear, correct? And even in the case of you approaching a girl, what is the worst case scenario? Worst case scenario, she says no. And here's the thing, right? It's not like she was gonna say yes if you didn't ask anyway. So there is no worst case scenario, right? Just go and do the thing. Now, just thinking that way, minimizing the consequences, is going to give you immense motivation and will to actually be able to do that thing. And it's going to reduce your fear tremendously. Step 2 is to take action despite that fear. You see, there's a big chance that that fear might still be there. That does not mean that just because that fear is there, that you should not try it. Fear has 2 meanings. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. And if it's not a life or death scenario, the second one, face everything and rise, is the best thing you can do. And that is what you should do in this scenario as well, correct? And in fact, the people that are most successful, it's not that they are not fearful of the consequences. They are, but they just take action despite that fear, and that is what you need to do repeatedly. Correct? So that was step 2, take action despite fear. And step 3 is to repeat with the intent to become better every time you do take that action. Now, this step is really important, especially when I talk about the intent to improve. See, because here's the thing, right? You have been speaking and practicing to speak for a very long time, correct? Since the day you were born, and the moment you started murmuring and things of that nature, you were working upon the way you communicate. But there's a big chance that after some point you plateaued. The reason you plateaued is not because you didn't practice. I mean, obviously, you have been speaking for so long, but the reason that you plateaued is because you lost the intent to improve. Now I need to be even better than I was before. If you had that intent, then you'd be much, much better. Because you lost that intent, you plateaued. Similarly, if you really want to be good at the thing and be super confident, you need to keep on repeating it with the intent to improve. Okay, so this was a 3-step blueprint on how you can gain immense confidence. And if you liked the video, then don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and let me know down in the comments what you thought of the video. That being said, my name is Mohit Jagwani, and with this channel, my goal is to help you be the most powerful version of yourself. And to check out the first chapter of my book, just head to the description. You can access it for absolutely free. And yeah, that's all. Would love to hear from you guys as well. Would love any feedbacks from you regarding the first chapter as well. That's all from my side. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.